Uh, Hi everyone, and once again we are back with our career guidance series for and by and of homeschoolers, I would say, because we have homeschooling parents sharing about their careers, their professions, and this way the homeschooling students get to know more about different careers or career options available. So today we have today's expert is homeschooling mom Purva. Hi Purva, welcome to our homeschooling career guidance series.
Hi, Amrita. Thanks a lot for inviting me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. So before we start into anything, I don't want to introduce you because I don't want to miss out on any uh, uh, tiny of your uh, tiniest of the long list that you sent me, because I know that you have a lot of degrees, you have studied a lot, so I would appreciate if you can introduce yourselves, because I think so that will do the right justice to your education.
Yes, sure. First of all, hi, hello, everyone. To give my brief introduction, I am a biomedical engineer by profession. So that was my very first degree. I've done my engineering in biomedical engineering from Mumbai University. Post that, I did my first master's in electronics and telecommunication. I did that from NMIMS University. And simultaneously, I started my career initially in the biomedical industry itself, and then I switched to academics. And post uh, being uh, uh, being in teaching for say 5 6 years, I enrolled for PhD. And simultaneously, things started happening. I gave birth to my son, and he had some complications health wise initially. uh, and as he was growing up, I had certain doubts about him. So I, in order to do my parenting thoroughly, I enrolled myself because I thought he might have autism. So I enrolled myself for a course to learn it properly. I enrolled in SNDT University for a course on special children and their needs. But as Bhargav was also growing and I was also learning, I understood that this is not what he is. And by getting some more knowledge, I understood that he is literally on the other spectrum, that what I was actually thinking about. And that introduced me to a field called gifted education. So then I enrolled myself for another postgraduate diploma from Gnan Prabodhini Pune University. That was for education methods and strategies for gifted children. This is for the kids who have high potential. I completed that, and simultaneously in my work scenario, this so happened that new branches got introduced, and I had to, upgrade myself, my knowledge. So college gave us opportunity to do knowledge upgradation. So they sponsored few of the faculties to pursue another masters. So
Wow.
currently, I'm pursuing my third masters, I guess, in the field of artificial intelligence. So my PhD is on hold for many reasons. Initially, it was on hold for my personal reasons, and now once I finish this masters, which I will finish in 2024, then I will have to resume my research back.
Oh my God. So you have three master's degrees. Oh my God. You know what? You're like so knowledgeable. I'm sure this session is going to be awesome, but I'm already going to book you for three, four, five more sessions, because you have
Definitely,
so
definitely.
much knowledge and so much to talk about, I'm sure. So, coming back to, your core profession or your first
Yeah.
initial education, I would say, which is biomedical engineering. I would like, yeah. So there are people who are like, wow, yay, Purva. They are literally cheering you. Literally. I mean, amazing, Purva. Hats off to you. Seriously.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us, Purva, what was the calling? I mean, why biomedical engineering? Why did you think of choosing this stream?
So I did my schooling from Mumbai, King George, Dadar. And I was like a general student who was interested in all the subjects. So I did not have any passion or calling or likeliness towards a particular subject. I was a good student overall. So like I enjoyed history also equally. I enjoyed mathematics, science. So I'll say up to my 12th standard, I was still unclear that where do I really want to go. Sometimes I felt like I like history so much. I want to study history more. Sometimes I thought, no, I like Sanskrit. So I'll do something. And even you are from King George. So I think you would know every King George student has fascination for Ruia College. So
Yes.
that was fixed in my mind ki nahi मला रुईयात जायचंय. Um, but what happened then? Ultimately, every mother, as at least in my generation, I remember, if you get so and so marks in 10th standard, take science, otherwise take arts. So ते तसं झालं आणि I decided to at least do my 11th, 12th in science stream. When I was in 12th standard, what happened was my father got a heart attack and he was admitted in hospital. He had to undergo bypass. My mother is a nursing sister, so I am uh, well used to the medical, and we used to stay in hospital quarters only because my mother was a nurse and she had those 3 shift duties. So we were provided hospital quarters. So I was, in vicinity of the doctors, and I was always surrounded by medical people and that language. So I always had some inclination towards that. And as I said, in 12th, when my father had a attack and he had to undergo the surgery, he was in ICU. And all those days when I used to be in the ICU, and that was literally my 12th board exam period, and his attack, it was, so he had an attack in February, and that is the peak exam time. So I studied in the hospital itself. And at that time, I realized that there is something that I want to do which will be related to medical field. And I had inclination, and I started liking all those instruments. I had you know I had that I wanted to know how does this work, what other ways could be there, why this machine, why that machine. And then I got to know about this field, biomedical engineering, by the doctors and some of our, back then there used to come in the train on the railway platform, there used to be some books. 12वी नंतर काय, छोटे छोटे books, they used to be there. My mother had got one of such books and I was just going through it. And then I found this, and then I realized, oh yeah, this is something which I want to do also. And honestly, I did not know whether I will be able to manage medical medicine or not. And even my mom used to say, किती वर्ष शिकत राहशील, नको ती degree, because she knew ultimately मी कितीतरी वर्ष शिकतेच आहे. But that was the thing that she said, की नको medicine नको, let's do something else. And then I got to know about biomedical engineering. And as it is, as every 12th student, I was preparing for my CET exams. And it so happened I scored quite well. I could have taken any engineering stream and my score was quite decent. But I wanted to take biomedical engineering and I got the admission. I got the admission in the college that I was hoping for. So Wattumal College, it was there in Worli initially. Now it is shifted to Ulhasnagar. So I got admission there and then I finished my degree, my 4-year course there. After that, I was in industry for 1 year, biomedical industry only. I was in a company called Transasia Biomedicals. So they are into blood analyzers and all these blood tests that we do, blood cell counters and all those machinery. I was in-house service engineer there and I was enjoying that. But maybe teaching was my calling because I remember after 1 year, I was assigned a task of training new joinees. So field service engineers, that those used to be there, they had training of 8 days, in-house training. And I was given one machine's responsibility, one instrument's responsibility thoroughly. So my manager asked me, can you try to, train them? Let's try. I think you will be able to do it. And I did that. I mean, of course, they had 8 days training, out of which half-day session I took, not the whole training, because it was just based on one machine. And that time, my boss's boss, so the general manager of our service TSD, the technical service department. He called me and he said, "Have you ever thought of teaching? I think you will be a good teacher." And simultaneously, things started happening that my own engineering teacher, my professor, she once called me and she said, "There is a vacancy in our college. Are you interested in taking it up?" Till that time, I had not thought that after doing engineering, I'll come into teaching. I mean, back then we used to think, शिकवायचं काय शिकवायचं काय त्यात आपल्याला काय शिकवलं कोणी शिकवलं. We were in that zone at that time. But then I found advertisement in another college's advertisement in paper also. And then I thought, okay, let's see. Let's just see. Let's appear for an interview. I also remember I gave my interview taking half day from my from the place where I was working. I went back and I just forgot about it. And after 14-15 days, I got a call that you were selected. And then, my parents also felt back then that I think it will be a good field for you in long term.
Wow.
So I was 22 when I came into teaching. And now I've been in teaching for last 11, 12 years.
Amazing. So,
And
couple of things. A, you were a born genius, I would say, since you were good at all the subjects. B, or and one more thing, what I can understand from your, as you're talking, that you're very passionate about education.
I
Second
am,
thing
yes,
is
that's true.
everyone today listening live and afterwards when they listen to the recorded session, I'm sure it's an inspiration that um, while some things were happening in your life, you didn't let that affect you, but you tried to continue with your studies. Like when you said your father was unwell, he had a heart attack, but while that was happening you took something from there that, oh no, but probably I could learn this or I could study this. So that's such a every cloud has silver lining kind of a situation that you created for your own self. That's really an inspiration and takeaway for me as well and for everyone who is listening. And third thing, I would say then your true calling was teaching. So engineering and all the subjects that you learned, but I would say, that inner calling is teaching. So coming back to biomedical engineering, Purva. So someone who wants to study biomedical engineering in the future, what is biomedical engineering in layman's language? Someone who does not understand, and for the kids to understand in simple language, how will you tell them?
Yes. So biomedical engineering is a multidisciplinary field, I would say. Why multidisciplinary? Because it requires concepts of engineering. It requires knowledge of medicine. You need to know about human anatomy, physiology. You need to know about sickness. So what all different health injuries could be there, ill effects could be there, what all health related problems could be there, because biomedical engineers are the ones who design, develop instruments or the therapies or the treatment, not in terms of treating, but all the machinery, equipments, and everything that you would need to treat a patient. For example, simple, if you have got fever, you need to check your fever. So there is a thermometer. Who invented thermometer? It was, as in, we can say that it was an engineer who invented the thermometer. Now we have seen machines like MRI, ECG, and we hear about these machines, X-ray, all these machines. So what a biomedical engineer does is designing, development, repairing, upgradation of all these machines. So they have to deal with the instrumentation part of the medicine. So you can call it, it's an instrumentation degree, but subjected or very much related to only medical field. Today, we don't have only instrumentation as a part of biomedical engineering. We have much more than that, something called as tissue engineering, wherein it's a biotechnology field, genetic engineering, you have nanotechnology, you have prosthetic orthotics, so artificial limbs, artificial arms, robotic arms that you have. Medical imaging is one whole field wherein initially it only used to have CT scans, X-rays, X-ray machines, ultrasound machines. But today, biomedical engineering has also incorporated the AI part of it. So there is no much improvement, there is no much scope of improving the state of art facilities that a machine has. So now what you can work upon is the software that the machine uses so that doctor gets better understanding of the image. So even you would know that earlier there used to be sonographies, which used to be normal sonographies. Now there are, then the color Doppler started coming. Then there was 3D image. Then there is 4D image. Nowadays, the even ultrasound has become so advanced. Machine wise, there is no change. What is the change is the software, those advancements. All that also comes under the field of biomedical engineering. So it is multidisciplinary in that sense that you, if you are interested in electronics, you can directly work on the machine. If you don't want to touch the machine, if you don't want to get your hands dirty, you can do the software part of it. If you want to discover something new, then something like robotic surgery, which is coming up, or develop something, come up with some ideas which doctors are already, they have problems in some of the areas wherein with your engineering knowledge you can come up with, provide some solution. There are many new discoveries like artificial skin is there. There are many discoveries even in Shark Tank. People are coming up with new products. So problems are many, and this biomedical or healthcare field is such that the problems are never ending. What solutions, who can provide are the biomedical engineers. So that is, in short, what a biomedical engineering is all about. Um, what a biomedical engineer would do. You are on mute.
Hello. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what a biomedical engineer would do, please continue with that. But before that, I'll just,
Yes.
I want to ask you what educational background is required. So we know that after 12th, you can dive into biomedical engineering. But what all degrees are available, or can we do a certain degree and then for postgrad jump into biomedical? How can it
Yes.
be?
So
Please.
there are these multiple options. Main plain biomedical engineering that if you want to do as a graduation course, after 12th you have CET to give. So every state would have their own entrance exams. Uh, any engineering entrance exam, it is same as the same exam you have to give. But the problem here is the biomedical engineering colleges are limited. So not every college offers that course. We will talk about the course colleges also, maybe in the later part. Initially, there used to be requirement that you should be taking biology if you want to do biomedical engineering. So along with your PCM, you need B also. Because usually we see that those kids who want to do engineering, they don't opt for B, they give PCM, CT. So CT biology is not required, but biology as a subject was required earlier in Maharashtra state. I don't know very much, I'm not very much sure what is the state outside Maharashtra currently, but for Maharashtra, they have removed this clause now. Any person who has done 12th and then they've taken given CET, based on their CET score, they can get admission for biomedical engineering. Additionally, those who have done diploma engineering, so diploma, which is after 10th, 3 years diploma, they can also come for biomedical engineering. They directly get admission. There is something called as direct second year admission. So those who do diploma and they want to continue in degree, they don't have to repeat first year again. They can directly get admission for second year. So any diploma you have done, you can come for biomedical engineering. Again, earlier there used to be a clause that only people there was medical electronics named diploma available earlier. Now they have removed that course. So any diploma engineering student who's finished his diploma can come for biomedical engineering post that. Uh, as we are saying that it's a multidisciplinary field, so a person who has done chemical engineering, electronics engineering, production engineering, as well as computer or electronics and telecommunication engineering, they will have sufficient knowledge to pick up any one of the specialization of biomedical engineering as their master's course. Why am I saying any one of the specialization is because biomedical will offer you many opportunities. You can go for instrumentation, you can go for imaging, or you can go for bioinformatics. That course is also available. As I said, you can go for nanotechnology or tissue engineering. And so for someone who has not done uh, undergraduate study in biomedical but has done chemical engineering, can still go for tissue engineering. So that availability is there. And wonderfully, nowadays, even in India, there are some universities that accept such kind of transitions. Earlier, if you want to go from one branch to the other, you had to be, I mean, it was only possible in colleges outside India. But nowadays, even Indian universities, there are some universities that offer you this freedom to switch the branches.
That's really interesting, Purva, and you're explaining it so well. I'm sorry, I'm keeping my video off because there is some
No
glitch
problem.
at my end.
Yeah.
Okay, so going further, a step further, now you have explained very well what are the educational requirements, what are the degrees required, what are the qualifications required. But how about skills? What skill
Hmm.
set is required? What mindset is required? We would like to know about that as well.
Yes. So, as a now let me first speak about undergraduate course. So, 4-year degree course of biomedical engineering. In this course, first year of engineering is common throughout all the branches, which teaches you basics of programming, which teaches you basic engineering mechanics. They take a workshop for you wherein you actually learn soldering, welding, and all those things. Then basic physics, basic chemistry, basic mathematics, all those things are done in first year. When these students come to the second year, uh, for biomedical engineering, very first course that they have is human anatomy and physiology. Uh, Earlier, as I said, biology was must, but now that they have removed the criteria for biology in 12th standard, it is necessary that these students should know the basic functioning of the body, because ultimately they are going to deal with, or they are going to later on invent something. So for example, if a person who wants to you know, create artificial heart valves should know what heart valves actually do and what is their requirement. A person who came up with the pacemaker, he needed to know what a pacemaker is and why it is required.
Correct.
So that way, it is required that they have to be taught biomedical, the anatomy and physiology. Next subject that they are taught is the biomaterials. So again, all these implants, they are actually going to be inserted. Some of them are inserted inside your body, so they have to be biocompatible. So you need to know about various possible materials, which is the safest option, what is, they should be, you know, sturdy enough, they shouldn't cause any harm. So biomaterials is one of the subjects. And initially in second year of engineering, all their electronics basics are made clear. Later on, higher electronics, so something like uh, digital circuits, or you can say electronics, analog and digital electronics, complicated circuits like amplifiers. So amplifiers and all these machines which are required in the instrumentation part. So all our EEG machines, ECG machines, they require this electronics part. So this is all the basics of all the electronics is taken up in your third and fourth semester. As you go to higher semesters, then you are introduced to various instruments which are already there. So blood analyzers, ECG machines, what all are different sensors. So IoT is a new branch. The name is new. However, biomedical students are searching, they're studying about sensors from many years. So it may be a new branch for all the new subject for all the other branches. But you know, sensing the signals from body is what biomedical engineers have been doing for last so many years. And nowadays, with the upcoming AI technology, many colleges have started in their third semester onwards. the soft branches are also included, wherein post-imaging part. So once the image is captured, in MRI, say, or in case of a signal also. So ECG signal is captured. You want to learn more from that signal. Or MRI image is captured. You want to do post-processing in order to take more and more information about that. Automate it, bring AI technology to it. So the colleges have introduced the stream of AI, big data, all these things also, so that the students nowadays are at par with the other students who have learned programming. So I think third or fourth semester onwards, these students also do programming. So as if some of them, but then they are provided as an elective subjects. Those who want to go for hardware, they can choose electronics elective subjects. That's a stream of electronics. One stream can go towards the bioinformatics, and the other stream goes towards the artificial intelligence. So again, you have choice whether you like the programming. Even those can enter into biomedical engineering. If somebody likes electronics, you can also enter into it. Or maybe, if you want to come up with some product, somebody likes designing. So designing of the artificial arms, artificial limbs, that also another field which I have not mentioned about is something called as biomechanics. So helping the sportsman or sports scientist to come up with systems that can help you to analyze the mechanics of the body. So there is something called as gait analysis, wherein your walking pattern is measured, checked, corrected. So surgeries, or maybe any therapy you want for correction of your gait pattern, or if you want to uh, measure it. So there are smart shoes, that kind of a system. So all these fields, and again, you can come up with something new also by learning things about it. So these are various different skill sets. You may like all of them, or you may just like one, and then you have an option to pick that and choose your further career also.
This is extremely interesting and you're explaining it beautifully. I'm really sorry to interrupt, but what we are going to do is I will share another link. We will all exit
Sure.
from this meeting and join into the new link. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, but this is
No,
amazing, and
that's
we
okay.
we have few more questions, and then we are going to open our conversations with the entire audience. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you,
Yes.
Purva. I'm sharing the link
Thank
on
you.
our group.
Okay. Sure.